Wrestling, the War Room. Wrestling, the War Room.
Welcome to the War Room. Our special guest today is Lucas Byrd. He's an NCAA All-American. He repped the USA in the Cadet Greco World Championships. He was the #1 recruit in the country at 120. He was the winner of numerous tournaments and awards, including 2 Ohio State championships. How are you doing today, Lucas?
I am doing fantastic. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing great. You sound great, too. We're going to start off by playing the Emmy-winning Lucas Byrd trivia game. Our first contestant is Lucas Byrd. The rules are simple. I will ask you, Lucas Byrd, questions about Lucas Byrd. If you, Lucas Byrd, answer the questions correctly about Lucas Byrd, then you win. If you get them wrong, you lose. Are you ready, sir?
If I don't get them all right, does that mean I'm not Lucas Byrd?
That's a trick question. It just means that you're wrong and you lose. Okay, Lucas Byrd, what is Lucas Byrd's favorite movie?
Any of the Harry Potter.
Okay, I'm sorry, but that's incorrect. The correct answer is Ratatouille. The answer that I have here is Ratatouille.
That's crazy. I'm gonna have to go watch that movie now.
Tell me about the Harry Potter movies. Why do you like that? Is it because you used to have or you still have those round glasses?
It is definitely still because I have the round glasses. I hear like people that I've known like call me Harry Potter. They'll be like, Potter. And I'm like so used to hearing it that I've just kind of, stuck with it.
Well, I like that series too, the books and the movies. Okay, but moving on. The next question for Lucas Byrd is this. What is Lucas Byrd's favorite cartoon?
SpongeBob.
I'm afraid you're wrong again. The correct answer is Tom and Jerry.
Oh, I knew that. I definitely should have went with that one. I forgot about that one.
Okay, we'll slide that in as a correct answer for you. Now, the last question in the Lucas Byrd trivia game is this. You beat a great pit wrestler by the name of Mickey Philippi in the blood round of the last NCAA tournament. It was a beautiful match. Love that match. Philippi was an AA the year before. Now, the year before that, Philippi had a great NCAA tournament as well, making it all the way to the blood round until he lost to what wrestler?
Oh gosh. Was it an Illinois guy?
Nope, it was Roman Bravo Young, RBY.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
And the score was 5-4.
Wow, I did not know that.
You finishing 5th your freshman year kind of outdid RBY his freshman year.
Yeah. Nope. Interesting.
Okay, I've got some general questions for you. I want to start off when you were young, Lucas. I want to talk about the Byrd family wrestling tradition. Can you tell us about that?
The Byrd family tradition was we're going to show up, we're going to wrestle hard, and we're going to walk away winners. Every day, you show up to practice, show up for tournaments. It was win it, no matter what the cost was, we had to win.
Now tell me about starting off young. I read a story about you fighting Pillow Man as a 3-year-old.
Me and Pillow Man go way back to the start of my wrestling career.
Did you name Pillow Man?
I do not know a specific name. There definitely was a specific name for it that my dad came up with, but Pillow Man sounds a lot cool.
Well, tell me about it. How did it start? What was the reason for it?
When my brother was 7, 8 years old, going to, practices. And my dad obviously wanted me to be a part of the sport, and I was too small and too young to really know how to wrestle. So my dad sewed up some pillowcases, put some stuffing in it, and made this little dummy that I could wrestle, and learning technique and kind of starting out as I used a little pillow man.
I wish there was video. That would be very cool.
There might be some VHS tapes somewhere.
So tell me about Ohio State Championships. You won 2 of them. What were they like?
They were exciting. When I went to high school, it was all about beating my brother's records, because obviously me and my brother Max went to the same high school. So it was always about, being better than Max. It pushed me to be better because the younger brother always has a chip on his shoulder. So I had to show the older brother what was up.
This was pre-COVID, so there were fans in the stands for these championships?
Yeah, this was my junior and senior in high school. There were the Shot Team Center down in Columbus.
Okay, gotcha. Now you also represented the U.S. in Greece at the Cadet Worlds. Tell us about that experience.
That was by far, out of all of the training and going on trips, I loved being in Greece, but I loved more the training that I got to do. I traveled to the Olympic Training Center in Colorado Springs twice. I traveled to Washington to train with one of my teammates. That trip was fun, but it was more of the traveling and the working out, constantly being from state to state, learning from some of the best coaches in the country. That was what made that experience for me.
Yeah. Now, at the time that you graduated, you were number 1 in the country at 120. What was the recruiting process like for the number 1 wrestler in the country at that weight?
So, at the time, I was committed to Maryland when I was going through all that process. Once Maryland decided to release Kerry McCoy as the head coach, I asked for my release, and he granted it. I posted it on Instagram, and I didn't blow up, but I definitely had tons of coaches calls. I had a lot of coaches calling my head coach at the time, and then my head coach came to me and was like, hey, Illinois is really interested. And I was like, well, let's get on a phone call and maybe have them do a home visit or something and see what there is for me to see what's out there, and for them to see, if they actually want me. Once I figured out some schools, it was down to Penn State and Illinois. It came down, close to home. It's going to be easier for my parents to come watch me wrestle, which was important. And then I think as of now, being able to wrestle 133 at Illinois, if I would have been at Penn State, I'd have been cutting to 125. Wouldn't have enjoyed the sport as much because I think I'd be cutting more weight than I am now. So I think Illinois was the better fit with Travis being a senior and graduating on his way out. That spot at 133 just kind of opened up for me and made sense.
Yeah, we're going to get into that in a little bit. I definitely want to talk about how you fit in with them and practice with them. But I wanted to jump in first and ask you about who did the in-home visits with you from Illinois.
All the coaches came down. Hef, Hunter, and Poeta all came down.
That's fantastic. Is Poeta very persuasive?
He can be. He can be.
I can imagine him talking a bird out of a worm.
He's very realistic. I'm more of like a realistic person when it comes to, wrestling and, life in general. I would much rather somebody just straight tell me the truth.
I wanted to ask you also about something that I noticed. I was doing a little research, looking at some videos, and one of the videos, it's kind of choppy, it's on flow, so it's hard for me to upload, but I swear it shows you, Lucas Byrd, winner of the Lucas Byrd trivia game, smiling at the start of overtime in the blood round at the NCAA tournament. Do you recall that?
In the blood round?
Yeah, this was the match against Mickey Philippi. You're going to overtime and you're smiling. You have a smile on your face.
So there's a little story behind that. When we're in the tunnel before the match started, I'm doing my thing, just kind of being loose, getting focused. Poeta comes up to me and he was like, hey, this guy's really good on top. And I was like, yeah, I'm still going down. I'm not scared. And Poeta was like, all right, sounds good. So we, go out there, and in the second period when it was my choice, Coach Hef was walking out with Duncan going to his blood round match. looked at Bud and was like, hey, like, Byrd has to go neutral. And I was like, damn, Big Boss is telling you to go neutral on the blood round here, and your first time with the NCAAs. You got to do what he says. So Bud looked at me, and I, like, showed down, and Bud was like, no, neutral. So we go down, we get out. The reversal was either I got out or it was a reversal. And then going into overtime, I was like, oh, like, I'm winning this. Like, you know, when I'm smiling, it's usually a good sign because it means I'm having fun. And if I'm having fun, things start to get rolling for me.
I hear a lot of people, a lot of chatter out there about having fun, and I see you actually having fun, which is something I noticed also at the Michigan State Open. You were out there having fun.
Yeah, I think it's big in our sport at any level for wrestlers to be having fun. If you're not having fun, it means you're not enjoying what you're doing. And it's kind of like when people like in the real world have jobs, they always tell you, you know, growing up, enjoy what your job is. Enjoy what you do. It's the same for athletics in college, you know. You have to enjoy what you're doing to get through 4 or 5, with COVID now 6 years of gritty, hard work, all hard on the body, and you got to love it.
Yeah.
It comes with having fun.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I hear a lot of preaching, but I see you practicing that, which is quite different. Now, I wanted to return to a subject that we talked about just briefly, and that's that when you got to Illinois, you're practicing with Piotrowski, you've got Pio there, Carr, Duncan, Cardani, and you're getting coached by Jeremy Hunter. What was that experience like?
You know, I definitely took my ass kickings, as any, you know, freshman does. I definitely took those. But, you know, as a few weeks go by, you start to learn and develop more. And I was tired, you know, the first week goes by, had a rough week, and, you know, I was like, in my dorm, I'm just tired of not winning. I don't want to get beat in the practice room anymore. So I had to, like, flip the switch. And obviously I knew I was going to redshirt, but what I had to put in my mind was, you know, I'm competing to start at that weight. Knowing it wasn't going to happen, I had to be like, I'm fighting for a starting spot. Because that's how I'm going to get better. And I'm going to make Duncan better. I'll make Chase better. I'll make Justin better. I'll make Carr better. Yeah.
Yeah. How is it working with Jeremy Hunter?
He still beats me up. he still beats me up on a daily basis.
He's like Mr. Miyagi or Yoda or something like that.
I think he's more like a Yoda. Do you think you like have Hunter like take it down and like you're in a good position, and then you're upside down on your, and you're like, what? How did I get here?
Now, I wanted to ask you about your many and various skills. You're a wrestler who I think possesses the widest variety of takedowns, of holds, of pinning combinations. I mean, I haven't seen that in quite a long time. But just to start off with, I went through some of your videos, and we've got a headlock to a pin, an underhook leg trip, a shrug by and spin behind, well, number of them, a flying squirrel, a head in the hole, and then in your match with DeSanto, you had a front headlock to a cement mixer. He tried to fight that off and eventually gave the takedown up because he had it so tight. So what's with all these different techniques, and do you think that helps you when you're out there battling?
I go out there with no game plan, and I just try stuff. It's always good to know a lot of moves. Maybe not be really good at them, but know them. And I'm the type of person that kind of like, you know, maybe I can get decent at all of these moves, and then just at random times, if I like feel like it's that I just hit it with a lot of intensity, it turns from a decent move to a good move.
I think that's key, with a lot of intensity.
Yeah, it's like if you do a good move but hit it really hard, it turns from a good move to a great move, just because you want it more.
I think that kind of encapsulates, at least in my mind, Lucas Byrd.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
The intensity is what brings you to All-American as a freshman. How often does that happen? How often does that happen at Illinois? Now, I want to talk again about that DeSanto match because I looked at it pretty carefully. And first off, pretty soon into the start of the match, you have this beautiful takedown. And that was kind of early in the first period. Can you run us through that?
If I recall, before I walked out there, Travis Pietrowski was standing next to me. And so this is kind of what runs through my mind before matches like that. I think I told Travis I want to go out there and I want to like put him on his head. And in reality, like the goal was to go double unders and put him on his head. That was like, I walked out there, looked at Travis, I was like, bounced around, I was like, all right, I'm going to go put him on his head real fast.
Well, besides that beautiful takedown early in the first period, at the end of the first period, DeSanto escapes, and then he tries his own takedown using that dump of his. And I can hear somebody in the background. I don't know if it's Pietrowski or Poeta. I suspect it was Coach Poeta. But they say, don't give him your arm or take back your arm. Because DeSanto's going to use that arm with his dump, and you do take it back, and you do get the takedown.
Yeah, that was Poeta.
Yeah.
He said, like, rip your arm back or something, I think.
Yeah, and then you got the takedown, but the refs, of course, didn't allow it. But we've got the video evidence. I've got the still shot that's going in the video. It shows at least 1 second left with DeSanto letting go of your leg and you with control position. Yeah, it seemed like you had that takedown, but they did review it and they disallowed it.
Yeah.
Now, you also talked to DeSanto after the match. What was happening there?
So obviously when we wrestled at Carver, he beat me back. There's not much to say about that, He went out there and put it on me. And Hep was like, you better not let that ever happen again. And I was like, yeah, I will never let that happen again in my college career. And after the match, DeSanto was, like, you improved a lot or something. And I was just kind of like, yeah, like, I'm coming. Like, I know I'm coming. It's not over yet. There's still a lot of wrestling. There were still nationals. There's still our duel with Iowa State Farm Center on January 16th. There's a lot of times for us to wrestle this year, and I'm excited.
Well, I'm excited for that. I'm also waiting for you to wrestle RBY because I think that's going to be extra fun as well.
I think that's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, he's fast, but you got some moves.
Yeah, I like matchup a lot.
Well, let me ask you this, Lucas. What's the name of your pet snake?
His name's Melvin, like the giraffe from Madagascar.
He's not loose right now, is he?
Oh, who did you talk to?
A little Greg Birdie told me.
He is not loose. He is safe in his enclosure right now.
Is
or
he?
At least I hope he.
But is he stalking you right now? Is he right behind you right now?
No, I'm in one of my friend's apartments right now. Cat sitting for him.
Okay. Well, let me change the subject here and ask you what's the name of your dad's club?
Woodshed Wrestling Club.
Okay, that's an ongoing concern. They're doing business right now, right?
Yes.
Greg told me that you had a young wrestler named Lyric who did pretty darn well recently.
Yeah, Lyric she's a scrapper. She's a scrappy little girl.
And she went to Tulsa and did really well?
I believe she won Tulsa for her. I believe so. I think I saw it on Facebook that she won.
Well, that's fantastic. I want to end this with some future aspirations. I think I read somewhere that MMA, maybe Greco, maybe freestyle. What are you thinking?
The more I've kind of thought about it, the more I lean towards, I like trying new things. And, I think going the next route after college is going to be something that I pursue solely because I'm a firm believer that you don't know if something works out unless you try it. And I feel like that holds a lot of people back because, they go, I'm not going to be good at it. It's going to be hard for me to get good at it. And I feel like it holds people back from doing a lot of things. And I'm someone that's kind of like, just jump on the saddle and, hope for the best and see where it leads. And if it leads to nowhere, I can tell myself, hey, you tried. You tried. That's the best you can give yourself. Instead of being like, when I'm 30, being like, damn, I really wish I would have tried this.
Yeah. I can agree with you there. That's the best way to deal with aspirations is to try them out.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they remain aspirations and not your everyday life.
You only get one chance to live life to the fullest, and I feel like there's a lot of people in the world that have a lot of aspirations, and fear holds them back. And I was one of those people that was scared to try new things. But as I've gotten older, I realized, you never know if you like something until you. And sometimes you need people to like push you to do it. Sometimes it takes. I know this. This isn't not life goals, but this isn't like career or something. But like trying food.
Yeah.
I had somebody push me to really try sushi because she loved it and I'd never had it. I was like, no, I don't know how I feel about raw fish, and she just kind of pushed me to like. She was like, just eat it, try it once, and now I love sushi.
Well,
So
look.
it's like somebody's got to push you over the edge.
Well, Lucas, this was a joy. Thank you very much. I look forward to watching you progress and do great things.
Yeah, thank you so much.